guys, it's Laurie from Quick Scrap Craft, and today's process video is one that I just made for myself. Kind of want to just show you guys how I like to use different shapes on my scrapbook layouts. So this is going to be kind of the start of hopefully like a series, just showing you different ways to do different things on your scrapbook layouts. So starting it off with using circles. I'm going to do a couple of these process videos using different types of circles. So this is like a big circle that I'm actually going to cut in half and do like an offset design on my layout. So I like using, well, I don't have a big like circle cutter. My Creative Memories circle cutter thing doesn't really go that big. So I used a toy package and I just traced it and cut it out by hand. If you have a die cut machine, I'm sure you can find like a giant circle that you can easily have your machine print out, or maybe there is actually some sort of more manual large circle cutter that I just don't know about, but that's usually what I do. I just find something that is around my house that's a big circle. You could use like a plate. I have a shoe rack that I hang up my embellishments on. That's a pretty big circle. I can use that sometimes to trace things. So anyway, and then I cut it in half because I want it to look like part of the circle is going off one side of the page and then coming back around on the other side of the page. But then I'm going to put both halves of the circles at a diagonal. So I'm using some Altenew paper, some pretty little studio paper, and another piece of paper that I can't remember who the manufacturer is. But I really liked all the colors of these, the pinks, the teals, the blues, and I just thought they were like bright and happy patterns and colors to go with these two photos that I have of my daughter riding her bike or learning to ride her bike. So that's kind of the theme for this layout. And you saw at the very, very beginning, I did a very quick sketch to kind of guide myself on how I wanted everything to turn out, where I wanted everything to go. And I would definitely recommend doing that as well, especially if you are going to be using some sort of large element like this, or a shape that you don't normally use. Either find a sketch that utilizes that shape or element, or just draw one out yourself. You don't need like a special computer program. You just need a piece of paper and a pen and just jot down like your idea of where you want things to go, basically. And then it comes down to just putting it on the page. And you might make some changes as you go along. I'm kind of like putting embellishments down here and just trying to figure out the best place for everything. And what's really helpful for figuring out sometimes the embellishments is just to get the photos down first. If you know where the photos are going to go, then you can always just put the embellishments around that. And a lot of the embellishments are coming from the Pink Fresh Studio. Ooh, I can't remember what it is. It's like just a random collection. It's sort of like a teenager type collection, I think. And it's really cute and just great for general use. So let me quickly talk to you a little bit more about the shapes. Now that I've kind of told you all the products that I'm using on here. Something that you can do, if you're like, I don't really like using circles on my layout, you can just do this same sort of design with a square or a rectangle. Just take your pattern paper and make it look like it's going off the page on one side and coming back around on the other side. And I feel like you could even do like triangles with it probably. You know, figure out, or hearts. A heart would be a really cool one to cut the heart in half. That would be a really cool design, especially if you took some photos around Valentine's Day and want to get those pictures scrapped. So this is just one, the circle is just one way that you can do this. I've definitely seen other scrapbookers do this, just taking regular strips of patterned paper, and I have done it myself, just doing the squares or the traditional rectangles, all those hard straight lines. But I like using it with circles and other shapes because then it just adds like more movement to your page, and it's just a great way to kind of break from the mold that is straight lines that I feel like so many of us tend to do. And there's nothing wrong with that, but sometimes I just like to do something a little different, like the paper tearing technique that I just did there. That was sort of a last minute decision. I don't even know why. I guess maybe there was something about the flow of the pattern paper behind it, all those little lines, and they're kind of like wobbly and wonky. And as I was going to put this down, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do the paper tearing. I'm going to tear it. So that's what I did. And earlier you saw that I did cut down my photos. They were originally both 4x6s. I thought I wanted them both to be the same size, but one of them I just wasn't able to cut down anymore. So one of them's more of like a square, and one of them's a little bit more of a rectangle. No big deal. And I just backed them on, well, it's a white backing, but technically it's a pattern paper, and the other side of the pattern paper is white. And I just wasn't going to I've used that pattern paper before and done the same thing in another scrapbook process video. So I just wasn't going to use that pattern, and the other side was white, and I needed some white. So there you have it. Yeah, so there's the left-hand side of the page done. I would just need to get my other circle on. And am I concerned that my circle isn't perfectly cut? No, I'm not, because a lot of the photos are kind of covering up the circle on the left-hand side, and then I'm going to have a bunch of the embellishments kind of covering up the right-hand side. That breeze word is actually Simple Stories foam word. It came in like a summer collection pack, and when I was trying to figure out, it was like the last word I had left, and I was trying to figure out what can I do with it. So that's when I came up with the title for this this page. It's a breeze, sort of, because obviously learning to ride a bike can be tricky, and it's really hard where we live. I'll put a little bit of this in the journaling in just a few minutes. It's really hard where we live because there's like no flat land. It's uphill or downhill. Even on our street, there's a bit of a downhill and an uphill. And so it's really hard to find a flat place for her to practice riding her bike. But, you know, we managed, and it's still a work in progress. So hopefully this spring and summer we can get back out there and try again. Because right now, as I'm recording this voiceover, there's still like a foot of snow in our yard. So anyway, speaking of adding different shapes, when I was kind of pulling things for this layout, I was pulling things that had circles in it. But this Fancy Pants Designs collection actually had some triangles. And while the red striped one isn't a perfect color match, I liked the teal one. And I liked having something at the top and something at the bottom. Again, trying to go work on the diagonal, have similar pieces on one side, and then bring that around to the other side. Sorry about my big head there. So that's why I did a triangle at the top and a triangle banner at the bottom. And then that really kind of helped tie the diagonal together. I talk about this a lot. Go on the diagonal. Everybody knows that is an easy way to create a design. Just go on the diagonal. So I'm also adding in some Cocoa Vanilla Studio word stickers. One says best and one says forever. And I liked using the forever one under the Pink Fresh die cut, which says so much fun, I think it says. Yeah. So it's like so much fun forever. And then I just got to get some of these other pieces put down and do the journaling. And I will add some sequins toward the end. But yeah, that's my take on using a circle on your layout. If you want to find out more about how to use circle shapes on your scrapbook layouts, definitely click subscribe so that you don't miss out when another process video goes live. I'm going to do some photos as circles and using like a big giant circle, popping it up on the page. What else circles am I going to use? Oh, using like turning scrap papers into little circles, just punching little circles so that you can use them whenever, on whatever. So just going to be sharing some other techniques that I like to use when it comes to using circles. And then maybe I'll do a different shape. Maybe I'll do some triangles and show you different ways that you can use triangles on your page. Speaking of which, I was going to say there's a challenge at Paper Issues. I think it's Paper Issues that uses some triangles. It's one of the February sketch challenges. So definitely go into the Paper Issues Friends and Fans Facebook group and look that up because it's pretty cool. So anyway, this is coming to a close because I'm not going to show you how I adhere all of the sequins. That's just going to be taken care of through the magic of editing. But anyway, I hope this video was helpful for you. Let me know in the comments if there are other shapes that you would like to know how to incorporate onto your scrapbook layouts, or if you have other ideas that you'd like to share with us so that we can all get some inspiration together. Give this video a thumbs up like if you enjoyed watching it, and I will see you guys next time for another scrapbook process video. Happy scrapping!